You know how we've been criticizing a lot for good reason the leadership at the FBI of Kash Patel. One of the most notable elements of why we take issue with his leadership is that instead of being an unbiased enforcer of the law, he is Trump's enforcer of Trump's intentions, regardless of where the law fits into that. That's the most significant one, removing anyone who ever worked on a case that Trump didn't like, even if they're really important to the agency or whatever. The second element is, hey, he feels like kind of a hypocrite. He railed against previous FBI directors flying around with government-funded private jets to personal vacations or events, and then now he's doing that to go see Alexis Wilkins, his star country music revelation. But you might be thinking, I don't think MAGA will be that upset with those things. Here's what I think may actually make MAGA very angry. Because what's one of the investigations that he can't botch? Well, he's going to botch, I'm sure, his ridiculous investigation to, like, we're getting to the bottom of January 6th or something. He's botched the Epstein investigation. Okay, maybe those could impact MAGA. But what about the Charlie Kirk investigation? They probably would take issue with him botching that. And that's what you have the Senate Judiciary Democrats releasing a whistleblower, presumably from inside the FBI, that just disclosed that FBI experts were delayed by at least a day during a critical period of time in this investigation. Have you ever watched the first 48 hours? Right? Isn't that the show about the beginning's important, is my point. In deploying to investigate Charlie Kirk's assassination. Why? There was an FBI plane and pilot shortage because Kash Patel was using them for personal flights. So we already heard that Kash Patel, in a pivotal time when time is sensitive, once they landed in Utah, was going, I'm not leaving the plane until you get me a cool zip-up jacket. And then he had to get like a female medium. Fine, whatever. I'm not saying that's wrong in any way, but it was wrong that he was wanting to look cool and look like an FBI agent instead of just showing up as he was. And now we're learning, at least according to this whistleblower, it's being alleged that some of the personnel who was being deployed there were delayed by at least a day because of all of the flights Patel had been doing. Just the quickest pause to request that you click the subscribe button, the simplest, easiest, freest way, completely free, to support the work that we do. Right below the video, click that subscribe button. Back to the video. Through additional credible whistleblower disclosures, I have learned, reading from this whistleblower complaint, how the director's decisions, or maybe a summary of it, related to DOJ or FBI-controlled aircraft have negatively impacted high-profile criminal investigations. For example, in the immediate aftermath of the murder of Charlie Kirk, the FBI shooting reconstruction team was asked to fly to Utah to aid the investigation and process the scene. However, the team's deployment was delayed by at least a day because of a bureau plane and pilot shortage caused by the director's personal flights. FAA rules dictate the maximum flight duty, cumulative travel, and rest periods for pilots, and the FBI team could only travel after the pilot's mandated rest periods were completed. So I guess they were just flying all around the place, and then they had maxed out how much they could fly, in part because of Kash Patel's personal flight, is what's being alleged here. And so then they had to be like, sorry, we can't take you until we have our legally mandated rest period so we don't fall asleep and right? That's what they're trying to prevent. I'm just saying that's what they're trying to prevent. That's what you don't want to see happen. And that's a crazy bombshell. And I hope that shows you the guy who told us this.
And I'm not saying take all their funding. I'm not the defund everything guy. I'm just saying Chris Wray doesn't need a government-funded G5 jet to go to vacation. Maybe we ground that plane. $15,000 every time it takes off. Just a thought.
Minimum.
That's Christopher Wray, the previous FBI director before Kash Patel was the FBI director himself. And now investigations or certain personnel being present in investigations is being delayed because he's used so much of that jet. But hey, can you blame the guy?
Who brought stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so glad.
What, is he going to miss her show? That's his girl. She's with him for love reasons, not for spying reasons. And so what do you think? Look at these two. Okay. Love is love and love is blind or whatever. But wait, that's a show. I'm not referencing the show. But also, he knows there's only so many shows a guy like him can miss before she finds someone else. That's maybe the way that you put it. There's a settler and a reacher in many relationships, okay? And he's the reacher. I couldn't think of a funny way to say that. Now, if you think that raging against the Trump administration is wrong, God is telling you to now. At least the guy that I always imagined when I thought of God, because he was in that movie and was cast as God, Morgan Freeman.
Well, we have somebody sitting in the White House who's leading us down a shithole.
Yeah.
I can't personally understand how a convicted felon, 34 felonious, is that word? Mm-hmm. Counts of wrongdoing, gets to be president. How do you do that? I mean,
God is telling us now. Y'all know that movie? What movie was that? It's like about Noah's Ark.
Evan Almighty or Bruce Almighty?
One of those. Remember. And I watched it when I was pretty young, and I always, back when I was like praying more often, I would pray and I'd picture Morgan Freeman. So I don't know if he knows this, but I've said some really private things to him in my prayers. I was like, do you really hate me, Morgan? What if I want to be with a guy? Please, Morgan. And he's telling us now why does he think that things are going to hell? Let me do some quick, because I don't know where to stick these headlines, but this just gives you a sense of the mayhem that's going on. Of a few headlines. Judge rules IRS broke the law approximately 42,695 times by sharing confidential data with ICE. There's one. Trump reportedly thought Noam would be better for the DHS job because she killed her dog. Not despite killing her dog, because she killed her dog. He went, I don't think she can be my vice president because of that story, but that probably makes her perfect for Homeland Security, which we've seen how she's operated that agency, and it does give the vibe of a dog killer. Now, I like barbecue, but the more photos I see of Bobby with it, the harder time I have getting hungry for it. Ron Vilbikowski said RFK Jr. just began his national barbecue tour, and he's very excited. And for some reason, I came across Kyle Galinsky posting this image after Kid Rock and RFK Jr.'s workout session that says, behind every great workout is a great cool down. And it's a very sensual photo of Kid Rock and Bobby after they did a lot of shirtless working out together as a fake movie. So that's I hope you enjoyed that.